So we find that in Michigan, Mike Rogers is running for the Senate, former member of House of Representatives, and nothing more than a CIA asset. Mike Rogers, throughout his entire career in the House, defended every usurpation of individual freedom and personal rights that the Constitution protected. I mean, he led the assault on them. He wanted eavesdropping on American citizens. Back to Patriot Act to the hilt. Now the Patriot Act, make no mistake about it, George Bush was not a very bright guy, but in this one case, his advisors were very crafty. They used a national tragedy to push through a bill, of course naming it something that sounded majestic and noble, the Patriot Act, that suspended the Constitution. I mean, there's no other word for it. That's why Mike Rogers backed it to the hilt. You have no rights once the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Justice, ATF, any of the other enforcement agencies come at you and use the words Patriot Act. Okay? Think of the January 6th prisoners, political prisoners in the American Gulag now for several years with no rights whatsoever because they threw the Patriot Act on them. So Mike Rogers, running for the Senate, is a Republican, the worst type of Republican. Who's going to vote for more suppression of your rights, more general oppression every chance he gets, okay? He's not MAGA. Let's start measuring by MAGA. His MAGA score would be 0. If it's possible to have a negative MAGA score, Mike Rogers would have it. Then we have, in Maryland, Fat Larry, former governor Fat Larry Hogan, who is as far to the left as Chairman Mao. I mean, the man has no respect for the Constitution, hates Donald Trump because Donald Trump tried to make America great again, hates him, and he makes it clear he wants to get in there into the Senate. In case Trump gets elected, he can oppose him at every turn. Another rhino, his MAGA score also would be 0. 0. He made Maryland worse than ever, more taxes, more oppression. Look, this guy just luxuriated in the COVID hoax, luxuriated in it. You know, anything he could do to deprive people of their rights, Fat Larry did. All right? So we've got to look very carefully at who's running for the Senate, for the House, and make sure they're MAGA. MAGA is the measure now. And anybody, in my opinion, doesn't score at least 75 on the 75 on 100 scale on the MAGA score, don't want them around. Don't want them around. Because if Trump is elected, we are going to be in the fight for our lives and our country's life. Everything we believe in is at stake on November 5th. We have to get Trump in there. Now, Steve Bannon is predicting Trump will be sentenced to 4 years in jail. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Remember, Merchan is Colombian. You know, he is a Colombian judge who was brought up under Colombian court system, some of the most corrupt in the world, and he administered the Trump trial exactly the same way they administer trials in Colombia. That's it. There's no denying it. In his formative years, that's all he knew, and that's all that was implanted in his brain, and it all came out from this Colombian judge at his Colombian trial of Donald Trump. So Trump may end up in jail, which makes it all the more important that we get House and Senate that are packed with MAGA Republicans. You know, I use the word Republican, but MAGA is the operative word there. So let's join hands. Let's fight for freedom Let's MAGA up. MAGA up. Let's do this thing.